What up? Do I do that thing at the same tone at the beginning of every... Whoa, look at my period boobs. I'm sorry. That's like distracting. Wow. Anyway, I have already privated or deleted like 2 videos that I've put up, and I've been really thinking about, I'm not thinking about why I did it, but I'm just reflecting on the stuff that's kind of coming up. And there is so much fear like around like perception and people perceiving me and me not having control over it. And yeah, like people perceiving you. Like yesterday, for example, I was in a bit of a weird mood. I was a bit in a silly, quirky mood. And I think I don't know. It might not have been my mood. Like sometimes depending on who you're around, depending on what houses you fall in people's lives, like whatever it is. Have you ever been in a situation where sometimes you're just acting a certain way and you're like, why is this side of me being brought out right now? Maybe someone in the general social vicinity you're falling into like a weird house placement with. Sometimes maybe usually 8th house, 12th house also sometimes brings it up for me. Bar all that if it doesn't mean anything to you. But in this just like afternoon of social stuff, I became very aware of how I could be coming off to a person who I have only met like once, essentially. And I was like, wow, they could be really getting a shit side of me right now, and I have no control over that. Like none. And I kind of got home after it and thought about it and was like, reconciled it in me, and I was like, you know what, you can't control everything. But then there's this, which is a whole other ballpark, because you can control what people see, but then also I really can't be bothered editing, so I just don't think it's on the table. Also because one of the videos I moved down, I have hidden. It was like a video that I uploaded 2 videos recently, and there was a third one that I uploaded a day after, and it has something to do with like what I'm talking about, like, well, the title gives it away, obviously. Like the fear of shining your light and like being positive. But yeah, I also deleted it because I have ADHD. And you know, it makes you someone who it's essentially what I call me, and I tell people it's like makes you a dopamine addict, just to like break it down super like plainly, because attention deficit hyperactive disorder is a stupid name. It's just a stupid, silly little name. So I just say it's like a dopamine addict. Like your brain lacks the thing that lacks the ability to give you the proper amount of dopamine per reaction or per like doing something, completion of a task or whatever it is, like everything in your frontal executive functioning, that shit. So pretty much you just num num num. You just wanting to look for dopamine. It's what an ADHD person is, and that's why. I guess especially with me. Why did I hesitate so much? I have insecurities around making things about myself, and that sometimes tends to get me to flip in between polarities of exerting myself too much and also being extremely uncomfortable about exerting myself. Anyway, not the point. I am like ADHD scale, or not scale, it's a thing. It's a blob. ADHD is a concept. It's what people's brains become. Oh, you're born with it. I don't know, I'm saying a bunch of shit that doesn't make any sense, and this is where I'm like, man, maybe you should edit your videos, but I'm like, I can't be fucked. But it's a thing, and you can be inattentive, attentive, or a combination of both. And I tend to lean a bit more to the inattentive side of the spectrum. My symptoms present very internally. I think like it's not, I don't want to say anything and then it be perceived as static and like be giving misinformation. please don't take what I'm saying as Bible, but from what I understand and how I can very easily explain it to people is that attentive is what like the stereotypical little boy in the classroom that runs around and has to interact with everything and is like blah, 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 and like can't stop and stop talking. Like his symptoms are very external. But inattentive is why so many females go undiagnosed, but it's more it's the more internal stuff, like daydreaming very frequently, haphazardly sometimes, and also like disruptively sometimes as well, and just kind of being a little bit like taking in your surroundings and like being stimulated in that way, like noticing things that happen in your surroundings, noticing people's emotions, seeing people or just living inside of yourself is what I can understand and what is my experience. So there's a video that is now privatized because I rewatched it and this is a symptom right now. Not symptom, but just this is it. Like I'm very ADHD in that video, in the sense of like I can't say my point very quickly. Like I am right now, I'm getting like a bit like emotional. I don't get to the point. It tells me it takes me like 10 minutes to get to the point of a story, and I get distracted by like a bird, and I just get distracted by a lot, and then my mind just started worrying about like, oh, what kind of person would be able to sit through those symptoms, and started like shaming myself for it a little bit. And I really don't like that. I don't like that kind of narrative started in my head. And I think it was also doubled down because I was really anxious in the video anyway, because I was talking about something positive, and I was talking about like something that I did, like something that was a result of my own work, like my own internal like mental work, and like trying to support myself, and like product of what I'm guessing is like journaling and working on my internal monologue and dialogue, whatever it is. Like I've been trying to be better to myself, and I've been trying to cultivate a better relationship with myself, and I finally saw some like fruit of that labor, and I was like excited to share it. That's also probably why I was so like everywhere. I don't even remember what it is now. Oh, it was like it was just like a thing that came to me, and it eased my heart about being 23 and having a very different experience of my life than what other people could be having. And the fact that in realizing that, I also realized that just by nature of who I am as like a very strong identity, strong person, I realized something that I was very grateful for, which was that there are a lot of structures that and examples and things to live up to and expectations that are in my head about like femininity and like just fucking everything, like being in, like, if you want to like do being in the spiritual community, like not the spiritual community, but like I don't know, like there are so many expectations, and in different ways. I'm sure you'd understand as a person living in a society, there's just like some background shit going in your head being like, do this. But I found myself just being very appreciative of the fact that that was maybe one thing that I wasn't stressing out about, and it's something that I was very easily able to come to and be like, oh yeah, there's no point stressing out about that, because everyone looks different at every point in their life. Like my mum at 24 was having her first kid. My sister at 23, I think, I don't know, it's just everyone looks different, and that was something that I was like taking a lot of solace in, because I've been trying to find a lot of grounding things to place my hope into for the past week. And it was just a combination of things that I think struck a lot of core fears in my heart, which is like being afraid to share my success because it'll offend somebody or hurt someone else. And it could be the smallest success. Like, I don't know, I don't know which part of me in terms of like where it happened in my life, that I feel bad sharing success. I'm happy to do it with like the people that like know, like I have a close relationship with. Like I feel okay doing it with them because and why I'm saying it out loud as I'm saying it, as a, I have a little bit of a stutter when I get really nervous talking. Sorry. But yeah, realizing why I feel comfortable with certain people is because there's a little thing in my mind that says, you know, like they're not gonna think that you're conceited for patting yourself on the back. Like it's not gonna be pompous for you to share this success with this person because they love you and they want you to succeed. And that is the hardest thing for me to like put out into the world and trust with other people. I'm trying and I'm doing it. Like I'm trying to say very positive things, and no, I'm not just trying to say positive things, but if positive things happen to be if a positive thing about me or about my life that has happened to me or that I've done comes up naturally in like a conversation or as part of a context, I'm one, actively trying not to downplay it, and two, trying not to like psychoanalyze the person who I'm about to say something and being like, is this safe for me to say to this person? Because I realize that it's just shit boundaries for me to be doing that. Like I can't keep adjusting my boundaries because I'm scared somebody else will be affected by something I'm saying. And the thing that I'm scared of twofold after that is not only that like I could make someone feel insecure from my success or doubt themselves or be a contribution to somebody's like, why aren't I doing that? But the thing that I'm again more scared of is that that'd trigger something in someone, and then it goes not to them, and then going, oh, this sounds really self-centered that I'm saying, like, I'm even more scared of this because it's the thing that affects me. Even this. Like, obviously, Annabelle, you're more scared of the thing that affects you. You're a human being. Like, yeah, you're going to be more concerned with the things that concern yourself because you're a fucking human being that's you're only responsible for your life. Of course, you're going to be worried about the thing that affects you directly, or the danger that seemingly your anxiety tells you you're going to affect you. My point is, positive thing, person receives it. If it doesn't do the thing of being like negatively impacting them for some kind of insecure comparative reason, it goes into like the next level deeper, which is where that kind of like fear of being conceited comes from, which is like sharing something with someone, and because of the receiver's own insecurity or feeling of lack or fear of feeling and like perceived feeling of lack or whatever it is, they then, rather than confronting that feeling of lack, internalize it as like a she shit rather than, oh, I am just insecure. That's like the thing that just scares me the most. Like, honestly, because you can't change it, you can't control it. It's not even something that you can demonize people for, because it's not even something that I really have, like, I'm not really upset by it. I'm just like, I'm afraid of it. Like, to be honest, like, to be dead honest, I'm just scared of it because there's nothing you can do. And then if I have seen anything by just being like an observer of the internet, it's that people are just, like, can be awful. Like, people are awful sometimes, not all, but like online especially. I'm terrified. Like, you fucking and we're a people pleaser. We all are people pleasers. Okay, maybe not all, but yeah. Anyway, and it essentially just comes back to this thing, and it's this core-rooted fear that I think a lot of us share. I do, which is that fear of shining your light and like being the most embodied version of you, regardless of what anyone says or thinks or anything like that. And I know that's like a general message that is really prevalent. You know, like, it's not, it's like, it surpasses like self-love. It's like, embody yourself. Like, don't hold back who you are, like parts of you, your identity. When I say like your light, it's like your energy. It'd be like if like saying like if someone's holding back their light, it's perfect example. If someone gets told that their laugh is too loud or too annoying, and so they change their laugh, like I'm sure everyone gets it, but just in case anyone doesn't. Why am I getting so defensive? I don't like being like this. I don't know. Maybe I should just not do this. Maybe this is too much. Maybe I'm not fit for this. Maybe I'm not fit for this. I don't know. Anyway, rounding it all out, it just came to this thing, this halt, where I have like the safety with the people who I know me and who I know won't receive me incorrectly because I think they trust. I trust them. They trust me. It's a mutual respect thing. But in the situation where it's like I don't know who's receiving me. I don't know how to trust that. So then it's like, I just gotta trust me. I'm still figuring that out. Clearly, look at how I'm talking right now. I'm still insecure. But like, I don't know. There's a feeling in my chest, and I've had this feeling since I was very young, but I've put it off for a very long time. I think I've said this in another video, that I should just be making videos for whatever the fuck reason. I don't know why, but it just feels like a good thing to do. And I don't want to edit them, so I'm not going to. Like, it feels like a thing to do. And maybe it's because it's challenging this fear of mine, like this perception fear. Or like insecurity, like fear. I feel like insecurity just isn't a strong enough word. Like, I'm scared. Like, I'm scared. Not all the time, but when I think about it, like the subject incites fear. So I'm like, sorry. Anyway. Maybe that's what this is. Maybe I figured it out. Figured what out, Annabelle? Honestly, I don't know. But yeah, I kind of just want to make a promise to myself that, like, maybe this is just like an example of the fact, like, example of the fact. Like, people are multi-fucking faceted, and there's that whole thing about like, you know, you can't have a bad day if you're like a celebrity, and I am by no means, zero means implying anything. But there is just that saying, like, you can never have a bad day of interacting, and it doesn't have to actually apply to celebrities, it can apply to anyone. Like, when you're just like, you could run into someone and they could just be a bitch to you, and you could be like, wow, that person's a bitch, but they're just having a bad day. And maybe there are just some parts of people that aren't as familiar to them, or like, I want to say that when you're put into certain situations and you just don't have some time to like cultivate and think about how you should appropriately react to something, bits of you are just gonna fly, you know? Like, someone bumps into you, you're like, if you're already like a little bit like upset, or like something like your day isn't like peachy keen bright, you're probably just gonna be like, oh, like, that's fucking annoying. And that's fine. It doesn't mean that you're like an inconsiderate, like, narcissistic person who believes everyone should get out of their way and yeah. But it's like a moment in time, and you don't need to be judged for it. Is this a thing that I need to hear? Is that what this is? It probably is. Every single video, it's like something that I need to hear. Anyway, I just have a very strong fear of being who I am, because then people could get mad at me for it and I'll take it personally. That's the thing. I know the answer to this is just like, you know, trust yourself more and like be sure of who you are and like don't be afraid to put yourself out there. But like, the reality is, people are either like, you either find the people that are close to you and you develop strong relationships and you have trust, or there are a lot of people that are going to be like fucking annoying to you because of it. And it sucks. And I'm not just talking about online. Like, I'm talking about like, even if I've met someone in person like quite a few times and I've even been myself and I've been sure about the fact that I've been myself, if that person has an insecurity that I trigger, they're gonna be shitty with me, depending on the kind of person they are. I have tried to have benefit of the doubt with most people. Like, a lot of people I try to be like, maybe it's not gonna happen. Maybe it won't happen this time. Maybe it won't happen this time. Maybe it won't happen this time. And it happens every fucking time. And like, yeah, you can sit there and like know that you're not doing anything wrong and it's all their problem, but like you still end up feeling like shit. Like, it still feels shit. Like, it feels shit to have someone be like, you're this, and like, even if you know it's like their thing, they're still doing the thing, and it's still owie. I still hate it. Anyway, I wish people would just be nice. Not nice. Nice is a very I wish people would just live with compassion and understanding of others. And self-reflection. Get in touch with your feminine. I don't mean woman. I mean the darkness, the negative, the undercurrent, the underside, the feeling, the intuition, the emotion, the feminine. Fucking... Anyways, I'm getting angry. I'm getting so angry for how trapped I feel because of this fear. And that is my thing to deal with, and I know that. But by God... that's good though. It's good that I'm angry. For a long time, I think I've just been like scared, and I've been like, oh no. But like, anger means I feel something about it. And anger means I feel like I could take action, and I can actually be like righteous in what I think and feel, which is good. Good anger. Thank you. Fuck. Okay, I don't know what this is, but whatever, it happened. Ugh. Do you feel like this? I'm so sorry. It's shit. But like, we'll get through it, dude. It's fine.